Hello, everyone, and welcome. I wanted to bring to your attention a little bit more. I know some of you have heard of and know of So Connected's Mental Strength Coaching Journal for Athletes, that journal series. And I wanted to ask some questions to these two ladies. I am Alex Ostendorf. I am Stacy's oldest son. I am a mental strength coach with So Connected. I was a teacher for years and had been talking to my mom for a long time about coming over to the light side with her and working with her, and then had pulled the trigger months ago now, and things have been going really well. And that's a little bit about me.
Okay, I'm Stacy Goodrich, and I am the owner and co-founder of So Connected. I started So Connected back in 2003, and I've been doing mental strength coaching pretty exclusively for about, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 years. And anyway, I created this company, and then I created this group in 2017. And I had a lot in my head, and this book was the first product that So Connected produced, that we could, really put a value from mental strength coaching written down into something for the athletes. I worked with tons of athletes, and I wanted to create something for them that they could have and take with them and do over time. And so that was the initial idea of this book from my perspective. I wanted to put something out there on paper.
Awesome. So, Christy, tell us a little bit about yourself. We want to get to know you more. So you're like the producer, the creator, the editor. Is there anything you don't do?
No, I don't know. Is there? I don't coach. I am Kirsty. Stacy and I have known each other for a really long time, since high school, but we didn't really know each other in high school. I am an artist. I am a book artist, and I have always wanted to learn how to lay out a book, like a book that you would read. And I had been very nervous for a long time.
Like a book
Years.
like this.
And being encouraged by Stacy is a great thing. And now I am really comfortable, and it's been a great step for me. So I still do my art, but I also get to do this great stuff with Stacy. And it was very important that she get it out of her head. That's how it started.
And Christy and I had a business together called Exposed Essence a long time ago, and we created a little chenille cover with a poem in it that I wrote when our kids were young, and it was super fun. And but we didn't have a lot of time back then to do more.
Yeah.
And so this was the next opportunity that we did together. Yeah. That I couldn't have done it. She does all the things. Like, I just talk text and I put it out, and then she lays it out, and then she creates a binding for it, and she puts it all together in a way that it can make sense. And so it's been to produce your own book and to not hire a publisher and to not have all those things. Christy and I did it ourselves with our, not Gabby on this book, but, just to be able to do that and to make it happen. I'm really proud of it. And it puts in a huge amount of value.
And to be able to be flexible, and like, you are very encouraging of me. You kind of know my you are ready and kind of know my potential more than I do, and I am able to show up with the editing or the way that you do it, how you like to talk into the computer, and then I take it and then I highlight the it's. What is it? Like, what is it? And all of these things. And so we work well together that way. And that's something that maybe you or I would not be able to work that exact way with somebody else. So we are both very flexible in how we need to show up for each other in the process. It's
Yeah,
super
Chris,
good.
you do a great job with me, because when I say things like, if you were to know the root cause of that particular issue, when did you first pick it up? You can't change the words on that. It may not make sense to the
Right.
logical mind, but you know you can't change the words, because then it changes the whole purpose of the question.
Oh, yes, but at first I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right? So I would change some things and you're like, no, that's not what I said. And so I learn. So now I just pick out words. Like I'll change a word or ask for more description. But now, so I've let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because
so
I
I just think it's
respect that it
great.
has to be said a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I think
What's
it's
that?
great. Like everything that you guys have created together so far, you know, if you take a step back, I would just say congratulations. I think there's a lot to be proud of. And that was my intention of, you know, doing this live today, was to talk a little bit more about that and to work to get it out there, because, you know, if more people knew about this book, I think, you know, it's those changes that we can help make with these athletes, and there's so much good here that we can do for them, I believe. I wanted to ask you both, because there is the first journaling prompt for each day is pick your intentional word or phrase of the day. And I know in the book you explain a little bit about, or completely, what is an intentional word of the day. So I want to ask you, Stacy, you know, what does that mean? And then after, if you could pick an intentional word of the day for yourself today.
Intentional word of the day came from a session that I was having with a softball player. She was a client of mine, and she was moving from high school to college, and she was a strong leader of her team. And as I was writing this book, we talked about an intentional word of the day, and then she took it and ran with it for her team. And she would introduce an intentional word of the day for her team, and then they would use it. So if, let's say the word was confident, they, even if the at bat wasn't a confident at bat, they would insert the word confident into that situation to shift the mindset of what was going on, or to add to it, or whatever it needed to connect that word to that situation. And I have to say, intentional word of the day literally came from that. I added it into the book that day. I asked her if it was okay. And I had an experience the other day with a client I was working with, and she, every first session, when I asked them, they get the book between the first and second session in this package that I sell. And I said, what strategy is working for you? And she said, intentional word of the day. And I said, how are you using it? And she said, every skill that I do and everything that I'm doing, I add an intentional word of the day to that skill, which gives my mind a focus to help my body in that situation. And so people take these strategies and they just run with them. And then when they share them with me, I can learn, and we grow with them. But that was such a great feedback for me. But it just started because one of my clients, I thought, what a great thing to have, just a connection to a word. And that's how it started.
Christy, how about you? What's your intentional word of the day today?
Progress.
Progress. Did we get yours, Mom?
My whole thing lately has been adding value. Everything I do, I want to add value. And I'm on TikTok now, and I'm on YouTube, and I'm like scared to death that I don't want to do it. But it's like, okay, I just want to add value. Nobody cares about me. It's not about me. It's not about what I do. It's about really how I can support people and what I do to put out there in a way that hopefully they can connect to. And so my whole intention lately, and especially on a day-to-day basis, is adding value.
Perfect.
You know, so my word being progress. today I had 2 errands to run. I did them this morning, and both businesses were closed. Like, one was completely gone and the other one was closed. And it was like, are you kidding me? Like, the word today. And so I have to focus and try to make that happen today with something else. This is progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Good progress.
You both of your examples were fantastic examples of how this book and this journal can actually be for everyone too. This doesn't just have to do with athletes. These, especially, things like intentional word of the day. I think you touched on what I believe and what I agree is this can be used with so much more than just your chosen sport too. But for example, mine today is fearless. I love in the book how you have examples, because there's so many to choose from, and whatever I'm going through, say it's fear, because we all have fear. Sometimes I have it a little bit more than I want, and I want to be able to do something with it. So that's what I like about the intentional word of the day, and that's what mine is, because I can work to go into whatever I do fearless, and work towards that, so that energy is being productive, if that makes sense.
Well, an intentional word of the day, Alex, you make a really good point, because just by stating the word, it separates the situation, the behavior, the idea from you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
really the whole point of my work to start out is to give people a different perspective, which is a circle. But by having an intentional word of the day, we're automatically separating the situation from who we are, which has to happen to be able to empower yourself with your thoughts and with what you want to do and how you want to move forward. And so having an intentional word of the day to just kind of go, oh yeah, adding value. Am I adding value? It separates me from the moment, so I can go, okay, I need to reevaluate. Am I just talking about nothing, or am I adding value? And so it provides that ability to think and the ability to move forward from an empowered thought versus just doing it, just like whatever, just like BS, going through the day. But that's what's so great about intentional word of the day. It just starts off with a lesson without us even having to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And provides that strategy without having to teach it, which is another great thing about, in my opinion, this book, because people are doing it and they don't even know they're doing it, but it's just shifting their mindset, and it's adding value to their life by empowering their thoughts to what they're doing. And that's the whole purpose of this particular book.
Yeah.
May I add something?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Right before the book, I remember the first time. I mean, you are remarkable. You were remarkable before this book, and you moved people, and you what you offer changed people's lives. What was so interesting is that day that I went with you. Remember, I sat through a couple calls, and then we went to the college. It was so unbelievable, all the knowledge that you had in your head. And it was insane to me that you didn't have it written down. And I thought, this is such an amazing thing. And if she gets hit by a bus when she was crossing Snelling Avenue to get to the college, it's like, what would happen? Like, it would all go. And so so I think that it was a huge step for you to actually, because when you meet with people, you're so like, you really keep it going and you have all this information. And I think that it brought you something different, that you had to sit. You had to speak it into the computer, and then for us to sit and organize it. And so not only is that book amazing and great for athletes, for people to read it and work it as a tool, but it's also great for you that you were able to get all of that out of your mind and concrete on paper.
That's funny that you brought up that day, because you were with me all day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little like vulnerable.
But with you all day, like you worked from morning until 8-9 o'clock. It was unbelievable how you did not stop.
Yeah,
Anyway.
just one session to the next, and then we went, like you said, we went to Hamlin and we worked with the gymnastics team, and it was that day too, Christy, that we realized that we have to get it down on paper. Like,
and it was really overwhelming to me.
Mhm.
Like, it was really overwhelming, that idea.
Yeah, it was for me too. But like you said, we just started. I had to start at the beginning. I had to start with intentional word of the day. I had to start with the doing strategy, learning strategy, A circle. That's what this first book is. And that's the beginning of how people shift their mind, and strategies and tools to use on a day-to-day basis to manage themselves, to move into what they want for themselves in their lives. And that's where it started. And I love how you laid this out, because, and I'll let Alex kind of go from there, but there's a lot of quotes in here that Christy kind of created the ability for people to just rip them out and kind of take them with them. And I don't think people know that. And
Slap
also,
them on the wall. Let it be the first thing you see. Put it on your bathroom mirror.
and also the sticker page. Oh my God. Like, I had to have a sticker page. You're like, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
And you did it. And
that's perfect, especially for athletes and kids who who would love stickers, and they love to put it on their computers, their water bottles, their backpacks, whatever, their notebooks. It's perfect to have that.
water bottle. Yeah, I love it.
That was kind of I was going to go into that a little bit. There's quite a few quotes in here. If there's, you brought up one earlier, and I was going to read one too. The confidence one. So I'm just trying to find it in here. It's one of the first quotes in the front.
If just telling you to be confident, not to worry about it, to get out of your head worked, we would all be perfect.
Yeah.
Every day, I just tell her to be confident. She can do it. I know she can do it. She did it beautifully yesterday. I don't know what happened today.
Mm-hmm.
When she hits the ball, when she swings the bat, when she does whatever. And I wish that worked. I wish we could just tell people to be confident, and that worked. But confidence is built on a unconscious strategy that when we're confident, we're doing a certain thing. We're managing our mind to work with our body a certain way. And if I am feeling my way through as I'm playing my game or doing my skill, and that's my strategy to how to be successful in that skill, practicing that strategy is how I create confidence. And then over time, I can rely on that strategy every time, whether I'm in the Olympics, whether I'm in a big game, whether I'm managing myself in a meeting when I got to go live, and I don't want to go live and I got to do it anyway. I go back into my unconscious mentality and I practice the strategy that works for me. And that's what practicing confidence is. And people don't know that there's a way to practice being confident. It's so important for people to know that there is an option to be confident and to practice it. Like, what a concept. There's a concept. There's a way to practice believing in myself. There's a way to practice, trusting. There's a way to practice being what I want. And people need to know that that's available. And it's very simply put in here and very clear, to the degree that people go, well, I don't know if that's going to work, because it's so simple. But it came out of a strategy because my daughter was 9. I had to have it very clear and very simple and very, very clear for a child, but it works for everybody.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, to have it clear for a child, but even for an adult, like it needed
Yeah.
to be very clear for me,
Yeah.
right?
I
Because
remember when we first started writing that, Kristen, you're like, oh my God. Like every time we would get together, you would learn something for yourself. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize you would get that from that.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I wanted to also kind of share with the viewers kind of what a week looks like and how it's kind of like there's like a step process and a week and a daily process. This is what a Monday looks like for the people that don't have the book. So can you briefly just walk us through a little bit? I know there's a lot to do. There's a lot that can be worked on, but if you just want to highlight a few points of, we talked about the intentional word of the day to start everything out. So do you want to just talk a little bit more about that daily, weekly process?
Well, the book was set up to the strategies are written in the first part of it. So this book is the intentional word of the day, doing strategy, learning strategy circle. So I give examples and I teach those strategies, just like I would in the first session of every session that I teach. The books are set up to mirror and to parallel the sessions that I've been teaching for all these years.
and so can I say something? So it's amazing that you'll sit through the sessions with you, but then to be able to have this book to refer back to, if there's
Yeah.
anything that has been forgotten from that first or second session, you have, like, it's right here. It is concrete. I mean, it's right here. It's amazing that you're able to use it as a reference.
Yeah.
And then the journal part, which is obviously the majority of the book because it's a 3-month journal. And every day, every Monday is the same questions. Every Tuesday is the same questions. It was difficult to give them what they needed on a day-to-day basis, but especially over time. Like it couldn't be too boring, so every Tuesday you're doing the same thing. But the way I describe the people who have the book to use it is to do it the way that it works best for them. Do they like to read every question and write every answer down? I'll never forget it. I'm going to say it. When Doug, my ex-husband, and he was a good business partner of mine. He would help me with some of the things. So when I was writing this book, I gave him a copy and he goes, Stace, he goes, your book is great, except you get people out of the problem so fast. And I laughed because I go, well, Doug, if you want to stay in the problem, just cross out some questions and just talk about the problem some more or do what you got to do. And because it was funny because I'm like, athletes don't want to be in the problem very long. They want to get out of the problem.
Yeah.
Compliment for him to tell me that I get people out of the problem too fast. But it was great feedback.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of that, I tell people, if you just want to vent, if you just want to cross things out and just talk, that is perfect too. This is not about me telling people what to do. They're not broken. They don't need to be fixed. They don't need to, do something different. But it's more about what works for me, what doesn't, what's in my way, how do I kick it out of my A circle. This book gives people the practicing that they need over time to make it unconsciously competent so that they can behave in the way that works best for them and their potential.
And so for people like me, I always call me a normal person because I'm not an athlete. So I go through, like, for normal people, I go through and I will, like, maybe cross something off, like, and I will write in my own something that would make sense to me, right? Like, I mean, what I do is I bind a book, and so there are steps that I am taking, and so I just kind of cross it off and I make it for me. And it's worked really well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I answered your question, Alex.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did.
And I do,
Yeah.
like I do have, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go.
It's Friday, you know, Saturday and Sunday, Saturday is celebration day and Sunday is dream day.
Mm.
And also on Sunday, I have 5 mindset rules that I actually got from a training I did from Clients on Demand, which is amazing training. But so anyway, you know, I want people to continue to dream and to celebrate and then get to work. You know, it's like we always have more to do, but I think it's important to have balance and for people to kind of acknowledge those things. And again, it's not about doing everything the way it's set up, but what this book does is it connects the unconscious mind to the conscious mind. It's not just writing affirmations. Those are great. It's important to have affirmations, but it's kind of like if I had a baseball player from Kentucky. He said to me after we were in a second session, he said, my mental skills coach, this guy down in Kentucky, said, go up to bat with positive affirmation. But he goes, if in my A circle I don't want to strike out, that's going to trump that positive affirmation every time.
Yeah.
This book takes those unconscious ideas, limiting beliefs, thoughts, energy, whatever, and it creates the ability for you to replace them with what you want to be doing at a conscious level. So it's shifting your mindset. It's shifting the unconscious stuff. The stuff that was once controlling you is now no longer controlling you because you've shifted it into what is more congruent to you. And moving forward, consciously connected to your unconscious mind is what we need to be ourselves and to be more of that and to be successful. And that's what this book provides without really even explaining it. That's the practicing strategy of the journaling. And that's what the intent was. And people don't have to explain it. They just get it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want. I love the for people that have no idea about it, like everything that you explained and you know the outcomes and stuff like that is the snapshot of the process page. So that's, you know, we talked about intentional word of the day, we talked about the strategies, practicing the strategies, what strategies work for you, how it works for you, the goals in motion. Step number 3, small daily goals, align your mind and body. A goal beyond the goal will give you purpose. So what's that big goal beyond those little goals today? And then number 4, purge it out, get it out. Purge it out, get it out. As you do, replace it with what you want now. Let's dig in. It says. So that's like the replacing. We haven't. I just have one more question after this, but I wanted to just make sure that people know that A circle is a big, strategy that we use in this book as well, and that helps with the replacing and asking yourself what's in your A circle and what you want to be in there.
Exactly, Alex. What you're describing and what people can maybe have an example of. If I have a thought in my head that I can't do it, the thought in the past would have just been unconsciously controlling me. It would have been like what I behaved according to without even knowing that's what I was behaving according to. A circle and this journal provide the ability to go, oh, you mean I can't do it? Huh, that's in my A circle? Okay, now what? Is it true? Do I care? What if I could? It provides us the ability to go, oh, I can't do it. Now what? And then we can be conscious of it, which is everything. Now I'm aware that in the past was controlling me.
Yeah.
Now I can do it. Now what do I want to do? Now I can use a learning strategy to focus on how I want to move my body, how I want to move forward, how we want to write a book that I never would imagine we could do, and all the other things we're doing now, right?
Mhm.
How we could write a children's book that is, you know, cool, and now a children's series,
Yeah.
right? So like, so I think that the ability for when those quotes that you're saying, that the ability to then be consciously aware of what was happening unconsciously, that's so valuable for people.
Mhm.
That in itself gives them the ability to change their thoughts. And when we change our thoughts, we change our behavior. When we change our behavior, we change our lives.
Yeah. So I wanted to wrap up with, because I know you talked about the other things, the other books that you have, but then there's one I'm really excited about, and I think Christy is really excited about too.
I am. I've been waiting for this book.
Yes,
For real,
we
this whole time I've been waiting for this book.
Yeah, this is a book we're all looking forward to, and that Christy and Stacy are putting together and are producing right now. So if you could just give us a little teaser about, what is this going to be about? What kind of book? Is it another journal? Is it a children's book? What is it?
All right. So when I was working and doing my thing and making money to support my 4 kids and trying to figure out how I was going to survive, my teacher from the Meta Institute, Mirtha is her name, and she said to me, Stacy, there are people doing techniques, there are people doing NLP techniques and people, teaching strategies, but she said what you do that's different is that you're taking people from the problem to the solution, and you're allowing them to take a present day problem and then go back and find a solution, which is preventing sabotaging mentality, and you're giving them the steps one step at a time to be able to manage themselves to move through it in a way that they can go from the problem to living in their potential with this set of strategies that you're doing. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She's like, Stacy, nobody's doing that. And I was like, well, why not? Like, why? That's what we got to do. That's how people can be their best. And so this book is basically a go-to book for people to go from the beginning of, whatever their mindset is, to understanding why they have that mindset, to embracing every part of it along the way. Even if they are consumed with anxiety, it gives them a way to look at that anxiety and go, what was that? There was a good reason for me to have anxiety? No, there wasn't, but maybe there was. Oh, let's look at it from a non-negative perspective. But it's more about the purpose of how to shift mindset. It's a tool, strategies and tools to do it on a day-to-day basis. It's a lot of my experiences and my stories of people I've met from myself intertwined in it, to give people the whole of what they can do to shift their mindset, to perform in their potential, to never choke again. We know how to get rid of the yips. We know how to fix a mental block, and people need to know that for themselves. Normal people.
Yeah.
Normal people. And I think that, and your information is, although it's a book, you're presenting it in a different way. Like, to me, when I sat down to read what you started, it was like, yes. Like, immediately the first 2 sentences, I'm like, I already related to this. And so it will be nice to be able to sit and read it. It isn't, as far as we know now, it's not a journal. But it's just a different way. You are giving it to people a different way. Stories. It's like I said yesterday, the strategies are the backbone of the book. But there's so much more that you are able to offer for I don't know, Stacy, everyday life. Like,
Well, we're all living with life is hard,
yeah.
and
And
life throws us things that are not fun.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, just because life is hard doesn't mean we have to succumb to it. It doesn't mean we have to settle. It doesn't mean that is controlling us. I can feel sorry for myself and go through a bad situation, but I'm not necessarily don't want to be a victim for the rest of my life because of it.
but you told me the other day, it's like, yeah, you can be a victim. Like, well, that doesn't feel great, but yeah, I can. And then, and then don't be, right? I feel
Well, Christy, in that situation, you were denying yourself that you were trying not to be the victim, but
oh
you
yeah, for
you
sure.
were being the victim. And I'm like, be the victim. You are a victim. You're a victim of the situation, but acknowledge that so you can go through it, because
Right.
at the root of every problem lies a solution. And if you're cutting yourself off from the problem all day, you're just stuck there.
Because in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be there. Oh, I should not be there. Oh, you don't want to be one of those. Right. So I cut off from it, and then I get stuck in it, and I don't want it. Okay. Another thing about this book, like Stella, my 14-year-old daughter, is a volleyball player. So I am now a sport mom. That's my dog. Sorry. When we talk about her, like when she leaves the car, I'll say, Stella, what's in your A circle? And she'll say whatever she says. And it's like, okay, go kick some butt. See ya. And then, but when I think of me, like what's in my A circle? It's like, what? I'm just like living my life. I don't know. I just get up and I live my life and I do the things that I need to do. I do adult things. And so this book is helping acknowledge that everyone has an A circle and we all function from that. And
yeah,
it carries over into our lives. Like, I just think that's very interesting because I get so focused on her, and I too have an A circle.
Yeah, I think that's a great kind of answer, especially for this group and for our YouTube listeners too, is like, this is a book for, Christy is a sport mom and she matters too. This isn't always just about our athletes. This is about us too, and what we need to be better people. So that's why I really like this book, because I believe that, it can benefit anybody than just,
Yes.
Our youth athletes.
Well, and more importantly, we need a way to do that. Like, people have said, just be confident, just do it. You can do it, and it's just like, well, what does that even mean? How do I go about, like, my biggest thing now is, as a mother of 4 kids, I'm 55 this summer. Alex is my oldest. He's 31. Olivia is my youngest. She's 21. Now it's like, I remember Anna a couple weeks ago, she's like, Mom, she wanted to have her own franchise. And I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible. You want to have your own franchise? And she's like, well, yeah. She goes, I learned from the best. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, I learned from you. I'm like, me? She's like, well, you know how to manifest and you know how to go after what you want and you have a goal beyond the goal. And I was like, in one moment, I'm like, oh my God, I could cry. Like, she actually likes me. She actually respects me. And then in the next one, I'm like, holy shit, I've got to get going. I've got to keep going. I'm teaching my kids how to be their best and how to go after what they want. And I've got to do that. We as parents have got to do it for ourselves. That's what's going to teach our kids how to do it for themselves, instead of just telling them what to do all day. That's fine. But we need to be able to have a strategy and a tool to do it on a gentle basis, because there is life. I am a mom. I'm a divorced mom, twice mom. We all have things. But at the end of the day, I want to be gentle with myself so I can be a victim, so I can cry if I need to, so I can feel sorry for myself, so I can do whatever I have to do, but then get up again and do it and keep going so that I can have me in my life, because that's what the world needs. That's what kids need.
Yeah,
It's
that's
because
yeah.
is me to be me, so I can teach them to be them. And that takes courage, and it takes guts, and it takes these strategies to slowly build on, but that's what they create. I couldn't have said it without these strategies. I live and die with these strategies, and I'm proud of them because of that. And what I see in my kids and my clients, and these people in this group are amazing. They have lived it, and they teach me every day, and it all comes back that way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know us three are excited, and we just want to share with the world how excited we are about the next book, and glad that you guys could take some time to talk to me a little bit more about the journal. And
we'll put the link on there, right, Alex? The first journal. I've got the second one, which is Strategies for Success. And then we've got the Mentally Strong Gymnast book that we've got on the website, and we'll put the link on. And then this is the little spiral.
I have a new spiral binding machine. It's so exciting.
Isn't everybody impressed by the new book? Here it is.
Yes.
Put my name on it.
Yes.
But
I bind everything by hand, so it's very exciting to have this half electronic binding machine. Anyway.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, again, thank you both for being here and being on this live. I think we will wrap up now, and I will hopefully see you guys again very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.